100 there, it was mobbed, absolutely mobbed. I apologise. I apologise that people have waited a long time. I think there are some children here tonight as well, and I really apologise for them, because we promised we would try and get the kids out for 9 o'clock.
Well, we missed the boat back.
I apologise. Listen, folks, look around you. This is what democracy feels like. I'm fed up listening to this bitter together crew saying things like that we should be worried because Scotland only has 40 years of oil left. Brothers and sisters, Scotland may have 40 years of oil left. Westminster has 2 days left. Let's be absolutely clear about this. You, every single one of you, have been courageous. You've been courageous in the face of an unmitigated campaign of pure and utter intimidation, bullying from bosses, individual bosses. A woman phoned me the night, works for Thomas Cook. Apparently Thomas Cook have sent out letters to all their employees. You must vote no. The shipyards, BA Systems, telling their workers they must vote no. We've got the bankers. If you don't vote no, we're going to leave. We've got ASDA. If you don't vote no, we're going to put our prices. Brothers and sisters, what we're going to have to say to all these people, all the millionaires who are trying to intimidate you and bully you, who think they're better than you, we've got to tell the millionaires loud and clear. Thursday's meeting isn't about the millionaires. Thursday's meeting is about the millions. We as a small nation are fed up to the back teeth, being told we're not big enough, we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we're not rich enough. They think they're better than us. I debated yesterday with Lord George Fox in a radio station in Glasgow. He referred to those who dared to protest about BBC bias on Sunday as the mob. The mob. Brothers and sisters, that's what they used to say in the olden days about the peasants. 1381 was the last peasants' revolt. They used pitchforks in the days. 2014, there's going to be a new peasants' revolt. We're going to use lead pencils. We as a country, we are smart enough to understand that just because the BBC says something, it doesn't mean it's true. They think we live in the olden days when we didn't have computers, when we didn't have the ability to Google something. The problem the powers, the establishment have today is they can tell us all our lies, they can feed us all our bullshit. The problem they've got is we can go to the internet and find out the truth for ourselves. That's the problem. This democratic revolution that we're involved in here, brothers and sisters, this is a victory on Thursday for the social media over the corporate media. That's the victory. They tell us that we're better together. Brothers and sisters, I had the front page of the Evening Times, and I used it upstairs in my meeting. I would advise you to try and get a hold of it. There's a story in the front page of the Evening Times tonight. It's about a mother who's too poor to change her Wayne's nappies unless they're dirty. She can't afford to change the nappies when they're wet, just to wait till they're dirty. She uses a food bank in the south of Glasgow. And the reverend woman quoted in that story makes the point that that woman isn't unemployed. She's in a 0 hours contract. She doesn't know from week to week, day to day, whether she's going to have a job. She doesn't have enough money to buy enough disposable nappies for her Wayne. In 21st century Scotland, brothers and sisters, 300 years we've been in this union. 300 years. And we've got 1 in 4 Waynes living in poverty. 1 in 3 here in Glasgow. 4,000 Waynes relying on food banks in Glasgow. We have got 890,000 people in Scotland living in poverty. 100,000 workers on 0 hour contracts. We've got pensioners too frightened to turn on their gas and electric fires because they can't afford to pay the bills. Brothers and sisters, see the next time you see somebody saying, we're better together, please go up to them and say, see if we're better together, why are we not better today? Why are we not better We as a small nation are fed up, being lied to, being patronised, being ignored, being abused with politicians who think they can get away with telling us anything. Labour in particular in this country and in this city, they think, the Labour Party think, doesn't matter what we do, the working class will just vote for us anyway. Brothers and sisters, the Labour Party is going to have to wake it up to a reality here. The working class hasn't abandoned the Labour Party. The Labour Party's abandoned the working class. That's what's happened. That's what's happened. They've brought up the Three Stooges. They think the Three Stooges are going to make a difference. Millionaire Miliband, millionaire Cameron, millionaire Clegg. The 3 millionaires rolled in to Scotland last week to whip us on the line. One thing that unites them is they're all personal millionaires. UK OK. It is for them, that's for sure, isn't it? It is for them. There's another thing that unites them. Every one of them. Mr. Miliband has said, if we're elected in 2015, we will stick to Tory spending plan. 25,000 million pounds worth of cuts. Brothers and sisters, they've been fun out. They've been fun out. Danny Alexander, that bloody weasel. He got caught with a dossier on his lap 3 weeks ago. And it said, in the next 12 months, as part of the austerity programme, There's going to be another 490,000 job losses in the public services across the UK. Local government, health, education. 60,000 job losses in Scotland. 60,000 job losses. It then goes on to say, those who remain, we're going to impose wage restraint and reduced hours. So some people will lose their jobs, other people will be working for less and living more in poverty. That's what a no vote brings, brothers and sisters. People say to me all over the place, Tommy, how quickly are we going to feel the benefit of a yes vote? I say 24 hours. Because when we vote yes on Thursday, we have got a mandate on Friday to say to the Holyrood politicians, no more cuts, no more job losses. We are going to save 60,000 jobs with a yes vote on Thursday. That's what we're going to do. We have the possibility here, brothers and sisters. People looking, people searching for answers, for reasons to vote yes. Here's a reason. Here's a reason for each and every one of us. I believe that this referendum has got nothing to do with political parties. Nothing to do with politicians. Nothing to do with celebrities. Nothing to do with millionaires. On Thursday, when you go into your polling booth, you've got to get a wee ballot paper that says, should Scotland be an independent country? Yes or no? There is no political party on the ballot paper. There is no politician on the ballot paper. Don't allow this crew, this bitter together crew, to try and distort the choice that we have on Thursday. You are not voting for a political party. You're voting for the right of your country to choose its own destiny. In other words, brothers and sisters, Thursday's vote isn't about politicians. Thursday's vote is about freedom. Freedom. Some people might say, oh, the bold Tommy boy. This is his 111th meeting. Maybe he's been listening to that Braveheart CD too many times. Where's the kilt, Tommy? Where's the claymore? Why have you not painted your face if you think it's about freedom? We're not exactly in jail. We're not exactly in prison. We're not even in handcuffs. And I know a thing or two about being in handcuffs. By the way, there's a few boys up the back who I think I know a thing or two about being in handcuffs. Just in case there's any gutter snipe journalists in here and now. None of it's been for kinky reasons. Brothers and sisters, we may not be in literal handcuffs, but we're in political handcuffs. We're in political handcuffs. Since 1951, this wee country, Scotland, has rejected the Tory political agenda, the creed of greed. This wee country, Scotland, has rejected the political manifesto that dictates the way to motivate the working class is you pay them less and get them to work longer. But the way to motivate the ruling class is you increase their bonuses and you cut their taxes. We have rejected the political agenda. The essential public services are for sale to the city spivs in London to make them even richer than they already are. Since 1951, this country has refused to vote for a Tory government. Yet, here's the political handcuffs. Since 1951, despite not voting for Tory governments, we've had to endure 35 years of Tory government. 35 years of the likes of Thatcher. A woman who epitomises evil. A woman who tried to destroy our shipyards, our steel yards, our mines, our communities. I remember visiting communities at the start of the miners' strike, Cumnock, Killock, communities with full employment, communities with hope and aspiration, communities that didn't know what poverty was, communities that didn't know what heroin was. They know now. They know now because that bastard tried to destroy them. She introduced policies that led to social division, destruction, poverty and inequality. We never voted for her. And now we've got the spawn of Thatcher in the shape of David Cameron. Somebody else that we never voted for. This man comes up yesterday to Scotland to give us his millionaire manure. Preaches to us about the British values of fairness. This is a man who last April sat with his political cretins in his cabinet room. 23 personal millionaires who are 29. 80% of the government millionaires. 80%. Society as a whole, 0.7%. How unrepresentative are these people of society? They sat in a room and they decided, oh, we're going to have to cut the welfare bill. Let's introduce a new tax. Let's punish the poor for the crime of being poor. See these pesky working class folk who live in council or housing association houses. Guess what they're paying? Just because they're too poor and they have to claim housing benefit because their wages aren't high enough. Why don't we punish them? Because guess what they're doing? They're giving their way in separate bedrooms. They decided to introduce a spare bedroom subsidy. A bedroom tax. Who else? Who else did they attack? The disabled. The disabled. What was their crime? I'll tell you what the disabled's crime is. Their crime is to live in the UK, where they're more likely to live in poverty as a disabled citizen than any other country in the European Union. Their crime was to fill in a housing application form and say, I've got a wheelchair, I've got a kidney dialysis machine, I've got an oxygen machine, I've got a full-time carer who's my partner, who can't sleep in the same bedroom because I don't sleep during the night. They need to get a sleep or they can't care for me. They care for me because they love me. That's the only crime that disabled citizens committed, to fill in application forms. And these bastards decide to try and punish them by imposing a bedroom tax. 70% of the victims of the bedroom tax disabled. 100% of the victims of the bedroom tax poor. In the same month that they introduced the bedroom tax, they introduced a tax cut for millionaires. A tax cut from 50 pence in a pound to 45 pence in a pound. 13,000 millionaires now pay £100,000 a year less in tax than they did last year. Cameron comes up to lecture us about fairness. Listen, Mr. Cameron, we're no as daft as you look. That's what you're going to have to You, brothers and sisters, you who are so often the powerless, you who are so often the voiceless, you who are so often ignored and patronised and lied to, on Thursday, you have got the power in your hand. You are empowered. And if you want one reason to vote yes on Thursday, it's so that you can stare your wains in the eye, your grand wains in the eye, your young brother and your young sister, and you can say, guess what I've just done? I've made sure that you're never ever going to have to endure a Tory government. That's the power you have in your hands. Brothers and sisters, it's not the only freedom. We've also got the freedom to say loud and clear, our health service is public. Our health service is staying public. Our health service is not just public and free at the point of need. It's going to stay free at the point of need, and we're going to invest in it. Our education services, we're not going to introduce up-front tuition fees the way they've done in England to make sure working class kids don't get the opportunity to go to university. We've got the freedom to protect our health and our education on Thursday. We also have another freedom. Here's where the handcuffs come in.
Oh no!
You see, it might not rock all your boats. It rocks mine.
Rock on,
Rocks mine because of the amount of times I've been arrested outside the place. But see you on Thursday. We have got the chance as a wee country, to become a real superpower across the planet. Because we are going to stand up on Friday after we've voted for independence, and we're going to announce to the planet, we're different. See, here in Scotland, we don't spend £250 million a year on immoral, illegal, we're going to tell the planet we've just voted to spend instead at least £250 million a year, not in nuclear missiles that are immoral and are never going to be used anyway.
Yes!
We're going to spend that money on schools and hospitals and doctors. We're actually going to play a part in forging a new consensus across the world, a consensus of peace. Sometimes people say to me in meetings, Tommy, will we have a defence force in an independent Scotland? And I say, yes, okay, yeah, we'll have a defence force, but you know what? We're not going to have an invasion force, because we're not going to invade anybody. The days of illegal, immoral invasions of other countries on a prospectus of lies and deceit are over for Scotland. And when people say to us, Alright, Tommy, you want to spend more in health, you want to spend more in education, you want to spend more in social housing. Can we afford that? Can we afford that? Yes. Brothers and sisters, yes, every single economic analysis of Scotland shows, even without oil and gas, because of our food and our beverages, because of our tourism, because of our fisheries, even without oil and gas, we are a top 20 country in the world. With oil and gas, we're a top 5 country. And they tell us, by the way, the oil's going to run out in 40 years, right? Panic stations! We've only got 40 years of oil left. What are we going to do in that 40 years? We're going to invest it in wind, wave and solar power. We're going to invest it in clean energy technology. And then you have a wee game changer. I know it's perhaps the appropriate accommodation to talk about this, right? But see, when you get going to look at oilandgaspeople.com, okay, please. Here's a wee game changer. 3rd of September, they produced an expert analysis, a report based on seismic geological surveys from the experts in the field of oil and gas. What did the report say? The report said on our west coast, not enough, the west coast, we have 100 years of oil and gas. 100 years worth £1 trillion. Wow! Brothers and sisters, 2 things to say. 1981, Mr. Michael Heseltine instructed the oil and gas industry not to explore the West Coast Basin because it was in the direct shipping line of nuclear Trident submarines. I've got a wee solution. Why don't we get rid of Trident? Then here's the second point to bear in mind about that report. A report that comes out in the middle of a referendum debate about the future of Scotland, and it declares that we've got 100 years of reserves. Why have you not heard about it? Why have you not read about it? Why has it not been on the telly? Why has it not been debated? Because of the biased, corrupt media trying to hide it from us. Ask yourselves this. See if that report had said there's only 10 years of oil. Do you think you would have heard about it then? Brothers and sisters, we have to be absolutely clear here. We are potentially a rich nation, but we are not voting for independence to stand still. I'm not voting for independence just to change the flags or the local authority buildings. I'm voting for independence because I want to improve the pensions, I want to improve the wages, I want to improve the living standards of working class folk. Independence, brothers and sisters, independence is not a destination. Independence is the start of the journey. And what a journey it's going to be, brothers and sisters. They can pontificate and scaremonger and bully and intimidate all they want. We know absolutely in an independent Scotland the only banks that are closing are the food banks. I want to finish my remarks, brothers and sisters, by first of all thanking you for your patience and hanging on tonight. They're absolutely brilliant. You've been absolutely brilliant. We have got 2 days left. We have to use that 2 days to convince our family, to convince our friends, to convince our workmates. We have it within our hands to change our destiny. By the way, I'm not saying we're not going to make mistakes in independent Scotland. But guess what? There'll be other mistakes. The final couple of remarks I have is this, brothers and sisters. Please, in your hearts, over this next couple of days, bear in mind the immortal maxim of the late, great Nelson Mandela. May your life's choices be
God bless you, Tommy Sheridan.
Not by fear. Last point, brothers and sisters. As I've travelled all over Scotland in this last year, it's been a pleasure and a privilege to meet so many beautiful people. To travel up north, down south, east and west, absolutely brilliant. There's been a wee opportunity cost, and any of you that are parents will know what I'm talking about. I've started taking my wee daughter, wee Gabrielle, to the meetings because it was heartbreaking every night when she put her arms round me at 5 o'clock and says, "Daddy, I don't want you to go to the meeting. I want you to stay in and play with me." That broke my heart, brothers and sisters, but you know what? The reason I went to the meetings is because I was fighting for her. Because as a 50-year-old man, I'm going to benefit from independent Scotland because I'm going to live in a better country. But the real beneficiaries of independence are the 9-year-olds and the 10-year-olds. They're going to grow up in a country that isn't scarred by poverty, that isn't riddled with low pay. They're going to grow up in a country with more job opportunities, with more training opportunities, more educational opportunities. They're going to grow up in a country that doesn't have nuclear weapons on its doorstep. They're going to grow up in a country that they don't have to leave to try and get a job.